So right now I can't really think that straight. Um, what's going on in my head right now is that there's an episode of Doom Patrol when Larry goes to Danny Street and he goes into a club and he's at the club and he's watching everybody else perform and they're doing karaoke and there's hey, everybody loses it. Everybody wants. I can't sing and I don't know the words, but it was that song, and I remember that scene, and that scene was very powerful for Larry. And while I'm on the subject of Doom Patrol and talking about DC shows, I just want to go ahead and just point out something real quick. When I was younger, I was never a huge fan of comics. Not really. I'm not gonna say never. I wanted to get into comics, but I really hated the idea that there was no continuity or no, like, the canon was always weird. Like the Batman from the comic of like the 1930s is not the same Batman now, but they still have the same name. They still have like the same origin story, but they're not the same person. Superman. Like the same Superman from back then is not the same one from today. And the crazy part is about Superman is that it makes sense for him to not be Superman of that age because of the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. Then you have like my idea. One thing I really appreciated about old school comics back then was that they used to have what's what I'm looking for. They used to have character up not character upgrades, but they used to have legacies. So it would be like the mantle will get passed down. So you had, like, for example, with the Flash, you had Jay Garrick, you had Wally West, Bart Allen, Barry Allen, and all these other characters. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that made sense because it's like, hey, the gimmick is still there, but this is an actually different person. But then, like, I mean, even with Batman, you had Jean Paul Vallée. You had Dick Grayson, but it's like the Dick Grayson from his debut is not the same Dick Grayson now. It's so annoying because of the one thing I liked about manga is that, like, in manga you could read One Piece chapter 1 and read the current chapter now, and that Luffy from chapter 1 is the same Luffy in this other chapter. He just went through a bunch of development. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole bunch of superpowers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like that Luffy is the same Luffy. Whereas you read Batman, and, like, the Batman from Batman Infinite is a different Batman from the Batman of the 1930s, and the Batman from the 1930s is a completely different Batman from the Batman of the New 52. It's like, but they're all named Bruce Wayne, and they all lost their parents as kids at that same alley by Joe Chill. But after that, everything is just up in the air. Like, for example, one thing that really annoyed me about this was Bruce has a kid. He had a kid, Helena Wayne, who was the Huntress. You know what I mean? And then I'm guessing the writers just was like, nah, we don't like the idea of Bruce Wayne having a daughter, so we're gonna repackage her as Helena Bertinelli. For what? Damien could have had a big sister. That would have been cool. But instead, this stuff happens instead. It's just weird. It's weird and annoying because, like, then you go further down the line and there's all these. It's like it's too many variances and too many. It's too many of the same thing. Like it's like and it's like there's too many rewrites. It's just like with Black Lightning. Black Lightning. There's no other Black Lightning than Jefferson Pierce. But if you read, his debut series, and then you read the other series, they always reintroduce him as a completely different person who just happens to be named Jefferson Pierce. It used to be that he got his power from the belt that he was wearing. Now it kind of turns out that he was a meta the whole time, and stuff like that. And to make matters even worse, at some point they had to rewrite other black characters with lightning powers to compensate for him because they couldn't write them again. I don't know. Like, stuff like that just bothers me. Like, that's kind of like, why I say, manga and anime, kind of reign supreme, because you'll have these long series But at no point was there ever any kind of, at no point was there ever any kind of, revamp. They just keep it going. And they stretch that sucker out. You know, Guts from chapter one of Berserk is the same Guts, today. There was never a moment where it was like in the middle of the series they go, "My name is Guts," and he's a grown adult and he's like, "I have no idea who my family is," uh, stuff like that. It's just dumb. It's annoying. I don't like the idea of breaking away from the stuff that was already happening just to mess with the timeline. It's just aggravating. Like for what? I can complain all day about canon, but I'm not going to because that's for another time. It's a lot of other stuff that happened. Like politics is kind of like taking a bit of a kind of a slow burn for me because now it seems like the one thing I hate about like the news right now as far as politics goes is that like the big thing is that like this is like there's so much scandal going on but nobody is getting in trouble for anything. Like you have all this evidence that Donald Trump did these terrible things that he did, and you have a mountain of evidence. Like you can get him on something, and they're saying, oh, if we can't get him on these things, we can't get him on these things, so we just can't get him at all. So it's like, what's the point of doing this investigation if he's just going to get away with it? Like I say, I can go to any kind of anything, and all I have to do is be suspected of doing something wrong or being a suspicious individual, and I get murdered by the cops. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Game over. I'm dead. Meanwhile, this idiot literally manages to attempt treason twice. I think. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's still in Florida, chilling. And speaking of Florida, I was tired of hearing about COVID a year ago. But it's like now, now I'm hearing that Florida is trying to bring it back, and people are talking about, oh, there might be another lockdown. Like, I don't care, because during the last lockdown, I was working. I had to put on my mask. I had to wake up, put on my mask, put on my uniform, and go to work. So if everybody else is complaining about lockdown, I can't believe I gotta go and stay inside. It's like, at least you can. All I want to do is stay inside. That's my goal in life. Just to be able to just like max and relax inside. I want to do what the millionaires do, and just sort of sit back and chill for a good month or so. And it's impossible for me to do because I gotta go to work. If you really sit back and think that millionaires work, you're an idiot. If you literally could just choose to not work, would you go to work? Makes sense. Make it make sense, y'all. I really feel like I shouldn't have drunk that on camera. They could probably be like, "Hey, you got a product on your episode. You got to get rid of it, the video entirely." But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I just really don't like the fact that it's like it just feels like America just feels like if you're rich, you can get away with anything, and Trump is proving that by basically like you have like all of these people, these rich people doing these terrible things. Avoiding taxes, attacking these children, literally trying to overturn the government, purposely denying people freedoms that work for them. You know what I'm saying? You got all these things going on with all these rich people just doing these terrible things, and nothing is happening to them. You know what I mean? Like nothing. This is like America is basically the country where you can go to if you're rich and you just want to avoid any and all responsibility or accountability. And I don't like that. It just feels like that's basically what we are becoming. And I don't. I'm gonna try to be positive here. Talk about comics. Talk about personal life. Like I said, I got my new job. I am, I new job, no card. So fresh new start all over again. You know, training is completely like I don't want to say nullified. It's taking a back seat now because I kind of can't do anything. I can't. I'm sort of paralyzed. Well, you can get an Uber, which costs money. You can get a Lyft, which also costs money. You just can't get one of your friends to come pick you up. I mean, I could if they got time. You know, I have made friends in training though. I like to think that I did. They're nice people. They're just, they're busy. They got lives. One of them has a daughter. You know what I'm saying? He loves his daughter more than he loves wrestling, and I honestly can't knock that. Not a lot of people can say that they love. Not a lot of people say that they love their kids, and so it's a beautiful thing to see people who do. Um, but in the process, I am trying to maintain, a little bit of sanity here. I'm trying my best to work out again because I saw how fat I looked in my last video, and I'm like, my goodness. Yeah, let's see. That's comics, political, personal. I should probably at some point just try to plan these out a little bit better. I don't know. I'm bored. I'm lazy, and I'm just trying my best to just sort of like maintain what little consistency I have because I'm not doing these videos anymore for viewers or for for like people to like. I'm not intending on going viral anymore. These videos are just for me. These are just my videos for me. But that's it. Love, peace. Y'all have a good one, and be safe out there.